Time to take a look at what's making headlines on the dailies this morning. And in studio for this conversation, I have lawyers Nelson Havi and Dr. Alutalala Mukwana. I will also later on be joined by Charity Kathambi, Member of Parliament Njoro. Many thanks for joining us, gentlemen, in studio. Let's first begin with what's making headlines on the Standard newspaper, and this is something that has taken the country by storm. On the front page there, the war within, inside the IEBC boiler room. And we'll get to the words being used by the media in describing this. But on the front page of the Standard here, it says, a Tower of Babel, open hostility, backstabbing, threatening calls, and night visits to commissioners paint a picture of a commission under siege from internal and external forces. So this is a story that continues on page 4 and 5 of the paper. But of course, beginning with the letter that one Chebukati, IEBC Chair Chebukati sent to Ezra Chiloba. And if you've looked at the contents of that letter, let's begin with you, Havi. What do you make of that letter?
It is a realization on the part of IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati that something wrong has happened within the IEBC, having listened to the proceedings before the Supreme Court. And I think Chebukati, like the Supreme Court before him, quote unquote, wants to redeem himself. But even in his quest for redemption, there are those within his midst who appear to be so infiltrated by certain elements that they do not want the truth to come out. Look, there are many who are still bickering that why don't we wait for the final determination by the Supreme Court to interrogate the bona fides of the 12 questions that have been posed by Wafula Chebukati to Ezra Chiloba. Right. But I think that is an exercise in intellectual idleness, because the proceedings before the Supreme Court were held in public, in open daylight, or sometimes at night. But we're able to see, in actual fact, how the 12 issues that have prompted Wafula Chebukati to make this inquiry were arrived at. And towards the end of yesterday, we saw Raila Odinga mention that certain commissioners had been threatened, their security had been withdrawn. And this appears to be something that has permeated the functions of all independent commissions in Kenya, with the result that despite the fact that they're supposed to be independent within the Constitution, they keep on being interfered with by the executive with a predetermined course intended to benefit them. And this is a very worrying situation, bearing in mind that the IEBC is the body that is mandated with a very Herculean task of oversighting the popular will of the people of Kenya insofar as it comes to the election of their leaders. It's of great concern, and I think it is high time that whoever is interfering with the IEBC, and I think it's now quite clear, it's not something that we should shy to talk about. If the Supreme Court said that the election was stolen through a process that was not proper, this process was oversighted by the IEBC, it is only the beneficiary who is culpable for what we may now see as this interference.
All right, but then the question